I met my wife almost 2 years ago through some common friends. When I met her, she was heavily pregnant with her ex-boyfriend's child, but her ex wanted nothing to do with her and the kid and dumped her. We got together a bit after she gave birth, and I love the baby like my own. The kid is now a toddler. Later on, she got pregnant with our child, who is now an infant. I proposed to her during the pregnancy and started planning the wedding immediately. While planning the wedding, I made it clear how I'd like a kid-free wedding, but my wife was against it because she loves the vibes kids bring to weddings. She's also from the Balkans, so having kids at weddings is very important because weddings are usually family-oriented in her culture. We eventually came to a compromise and only allowed kids over 10 years old. She wanted to bring our kids as well, but I told her I was against that because who will take care of them? She said our parents would help her out, and I told her I wouldn't ask my parents to babysit instead of having fun at my wedding. She said I'm being really unfair, not trying to find a solution with her and how important it is to her to include our kids at the wedding. I told her she's the one who wants them there, so it's on her to find a solution. Her parents said they'd help her with the kids, but they ended up enjoying themselves during our wedding last weekend. My wife barely danced and got up because she cared for the kids and ran after them the entire time. She complained about how everyone else enjoyed her wedding except her, as the bride didn't even get to dance more than twice. I told her it was her fault and she shouldn't bring the kids in the first place, especially the toddler, because she was the one causing the most trouble during the wedding, running around the whole time. My parents also scolded her and told her she was very entitled to expect them to babysit the kids while they were having fun at their only son's wedding. My wife said we're all the idiots for not trying to see her point and how we all cared more about our own fun and comfort, and we tossed the bride to the side, and she feels nobody gave a crap about her the entire time. Am I the idiot? Edit. I'd only agree to hire a babysitter if my wife decided to leave the kids at home. I didn't want a babysitter at the wedding. The reason is that I didn't want a stranger at my wedding. My wife knew I wouldn't agree on a babysitter to attend the wedding so she could watch the kids. She didn't find out last minute. She could communicate better with her friends and family to help her out if having the kids there was that important to her, and she also wanted to enjoy herself. You are the idiot. I don't want a stranger at my wedding, so you would rather ruin your wife's one special night over a single guest? You're pathetic, and I hope she gets to have the wedding of her dreams one day with a man who cares about what she wants. Also, just in case you were wondering, if you hadn't invited the children, they would resent you for excluding them on such an important day in the future. You sound too immature and petty to care for your family properly. Hopefully, your wife enjoys being a mother to 3 boys. Considering how OP is, maybe it won't be her only wedding. I bet this is just the tip of the iceberg with you. Back-to-back pregnancies and punishing her like a child. Unless you were personal friends with every single service personnel involved in the wedding, you have no excuse to refuse a babysitter. OP, you knew all the waiters, the venue manager, the officiant, the chefs, everyone. I think you implemented this rule to ensure she didn't enjoy herself. And when the people taking care of your kids failed to do so, you just sat back and enjoyed yourself because you thought, serves her right? They're your kids too. Step up and be a parent. Wow, dude, you are the idiot. Your wife certainly has poor taste in men. First, she dated a dude that abandoned her pregnant. Now she married an idiot that would prefer her to be miserable at her own wedding instead of allowing her to hire a sitter for the wedding since, for her, it was important to have her kids there. Congratulations, Groomzilla. There's a backstory that I need to tell. I, 22 female, have 2 younger sisters. Amy's 18 and has just graduated high school. I can't think of a family whose parents so blatantly favor one child over their other 2 as much as my family does. My parents are obsessed with volleyball. Both played in college and that's how they met, playing at the same school. When I was young, they did everything they could to get me interested in playing. I wasn't. I'm a theatre gal. Amy got interested at a young age. They knew she had a lot of talent from when she was young. Amy's played on her school and club teams since she was in 5th grade and was the best player. She's now attending a Division 1 school on a full-ride volleyball scholarship. My parents' lives are all about Amy. Examples. Our main fridge has 20 different magnets with Amy's volleyball pictures. There's one picture of me when I played the Cat in the Hat in 8th grade on the side of it. None of our littlest sister. Parents ordered custom replica jerseys for Amy's club team so we can all wear them. They have our last name and Amy's number. Parents force us to wear them. We've done it in a Christmas card. They also force us to go to all of Amy's games. But I don't think Amy has ever been to one of my plays. Even in college, her excuse was always valid to skip my plays, but my excuse was never good enough to skip her games. In our basement, we have one of those life-size fathead stickers on the wall of Amy spiking a volleyball. Amy has made this all-regional select volleyball team for the last 2 years, but my parents paid hundreds of dollars to have the jersey put in a custom frame with the background pictures of Amy playing volleyball throughout her life, so that hangs in one of our family rooms. Every holiday we host right after dinner, almost like clockwork, you can see my mom hooking up her laptop to the TV. She's putting on Amy's game film for everyone. Every holiday. My youngest sister, Teen, tries to be like Amy. She plays volleyball too, but is not at the level Amy was when she was her age, so my parents treat her volleyball like an afterthought. Amy also has some serious character issues I'd love to rant about, but it's just too long. So Amy's high school graduation party was yesterday and maybe twice as big as mine was. When talking to some family members who asked me about Amy, I just said I wish my parents took an interest in my hobbies or me like they do with Amy, and it hurts to see the apparent favoritism. They agreed they've noticed it throughout my life too. After the party, my parents confronted me because the extended family took my side and said it wasn't fair. My parents just claimed ignorance. They had no idea what I was talking about, and that I embarrassed them for spending the day talking smack about Amy. Maybe I was jealous about the party, but I couldn't deal with another Amy show while Mom and Dad acted like they had one kid. Not the idiot. Theatre is quite as difficult as volleyball in its own way, and your parents need to appreciate that. And if people ask you directly, you have no obligation to lie to make her party seem nice when they skimp on yours. If they want you to say they treat the two of you fairly and your interests fairly, then they have to do so, not expect you to be liar on their behalf. They're terrible parents for doing so. Theatre is wonderful, valuable, and brings joy to the hundreds of people in the audience. And they're awful parents for not valuing what you do, and I want to scream at them and cuddle and comfort you for this terrible situation. Never make yourself a liar to cover up abuse, and how they treat your extracurricular activities versus your sisters is abusive. Even your extended family can tell. You're 22 years old now. The best you can do for them is give them the cold shoulder. If they don't acknowledge your existence, you should as well. You have your extended family by your side, so you're not exactly alone. I'm worried about your little sister because she's still stuck with them. Everyone's the idiot here. Amy didn't ask for special attention, and from the way you described the situation, she can't influence your parents to change. Discussing that at a graduation party was crappy. Parents often favor kids that are like them, although it seems overboard in this case. Family therapy is called for since you're now at the point of just looking for opportunities to be petty, no matter who it hurts. Yesterday we all went to the beach. My brother, nearly an adult, was there with our parents. I was there with my toddler. My husband couldn't come because of a work emergency. My mom has bad health problems and I wanted to talk privately to Dad about some stuff in person. So I asked my brother if he would watch my son so Dad and I could take a walk together. He shook his head and said, "He's your kid." I said it would be less than 20 minutes. He said, "I'm not obligated." I said, "Fine." After the beach, we all returned to my place to meet up with my husband. I ordered takeout for everyone but my brother. He requested something, but I just didn't put it in. When he didn't see his order, he said they screwed up. I said, "I didn't get you anything. I'm not obligated. There are cold cuts in the fridge. Make a sandwich." Brother teared up and turned to our parents. Dad shrugged and said, "You know how to make a sandwich." Brother went into the backyard to sulk. Mom asked if that was necessary. She said, "You're the adult, he's the child." I said, "Not for very much longer. He can get a job and order his own takeout." She was sad though, and I hate when she's sad. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You didn't argue. You asked him to watch your kid so you could have a short private conversation with your dad. He refused. You ordered takeout. He asked you to order for him. You refused. It would be different if there were nothing for him to eat, but that's not the case. A sandwich and a bruised ego never hurt anyone. I'm sorry your mother is sick and this made her sad. Hopefully he learns to have a little grace from this and it won't happen again. Everyone's the idiot here. It seems from what I read that she didn't tell him she wasn't ordering his food. Although I agree with the lesson, perhaps she should have told him beforehand that she wasn't obligated to order his food. She could have asked him for money for the food or the choice to make a sandwich instead. However, it must have been awful for her brother to realize after the order was placed that he'd been excluded. He does suck though for his response to helping her out. He needs to learn that actions, or lack thereof, have consequences. Agree, everyone's the idiot here. Your brother isn't required to watch your kid, but should have been willing to do so, unless there's more to this. Instead, you let him order food, thinking he would get food with the rest of the family, and waited until after delivery to inform him of your revenge. These are both petty, but I'd say you're more of an idiot than your brother because he's just a kid. I go against the majority here and say you are the idiot, simply because you invited him to your place and then decided secretly to be a bad host to him instead of being upfront and honest like he was. You didn't invite him to the beach telling him he has to be a babysitter. You acted maliciously out of spite by letting him believe his food was ordered so you can say, ha ha, in your face. And I think this makes you a really immature idiot. Sorry. I cut my father off after turning 18 because he had an affair with another woman, broke mine and my mom's hearts, and then insisted on taking parenting time with me after the divorce and tried to shove his wife and her kids down my throat. Of course, I wanted nothing to do with any of that after I found out. But he insisted we were family. His wife's kids were very young, so they saw me as their big sister, and I know from other people that they ask about me a lot and have missed me, though I can't say the same. My father's wife is pregnant and she recently lost both of her parents. Again, I only know about this through other people. My father reached out and asked for me to come to help the family. His wife's pregnancy is dangerous, the kids are scared of losing their mom and miss me badly, and their grandparents just died. He wanted me to go to the house, make sure his wife was okay and spend some time with her kids. So I blocked his number when he called to ask me that. I didn't even say anything. I just ended the call and blocked the number. Apparently she got worse because my father showed up at my mom's and confronted me about abandoning my family and not caring at all about innocent kids who had been through a lot and who loved me because they were so little and saw me as their sister. He told me hating him isn't going to change anything, and I'm throwing away the chance at a fantastic family because I'm bitter and selfish. He said he would do anything to help me, and I won't do the same for him or them. One of his family members, who I was still in touch with, also said they thought I was wrong. They said they get being angry about the affair, but said it shouldn't end my relationship with my father, and it shouldn't mean I miss out on having siblings. That, at the very least, could be a comfort to the kids right now if I go over to help. I think they never said that before it got stuck in my head. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You didn't ask for these siblings, and they came into a bad situation. Not your fault. If your dad thought cheating would lead to sunshine and rainbows, oh boy, he needs to grow up a lot. Screw the lot of them, to be honest. It's a simple response. Dad says, I'd do anything to help you, and you say, okay, what have you done for me, for just me? When was the last time you sacrificed your happiness and contentment and made yourself uncomfortable for me in the last few years? When even was the last time you made an effort for me? Exactly. So I think I'll invest exactly that much back in you and your family. Then walk away. And tell his other family members if they're concerned, they can go show up for him. Ignore the, poor kids are innocent, they don't deserve this crap. You're innocent too. Where was this but the children mentality when you were the child who would be hurt? Spend time with the kids sounds like be our unpaid babysitter to me. And why do people think that if someone refuses to know half or step-siblings are missing out? I have a half-sister I never met, and I don't feel I missed out. My daughter, 27, is getting married in the fall. I, 58 male, am supposed to pay for the wedding. That's what we agreed on. Unfortunately, we received the save-the-date invitations a few days after I put the payments through my bank. They need to be approved, so no money has been paid yet. My wife isn't invited to the wedding. I've been divorced for 15 years and married to my wife now for 8 years. My daughter never really liked my wife. They didn't get along well. However, my other 2 kids love her. I called my daughter and asked her why my wife wasn't invited. She said that it was her wedding day and she only wanted to invite her real family. I said, well, did you invite Mom's boyfriend? And she said, yes. I said, well, okay, then you should invite my wife too. Or am I not paying for the wedding? She declined and said she wasn't inviting my wife. I told her I cancelled the payments then and she didn't believe me. So I cancelled them and my daughter is now super angry at me, as is my ex-wife. Am I the idiot? Edit. My wife is 61. I met her 5 years after my divorce. My daughter and wife never got along. She took her mom's side during the divorce, and our relationship has been rocky ever since." Not the idiot. Why should you and presumably your wife pay for something that she's not invited to? That's not how it works. If she wants to exclude your wife, she can pay for it herself. I honestly think too many young brides read too much social media telling them, "It's your day and you can do whatever you want." Yes, you can, but be prepared for blowback, repercussions, etc. when you refuse to do the basic decent things for a wedding. The daughter sounds foolish and short-sighted. Unless there's some mistreatment, abuse, cheating, etc. that OP hasn't outlined here at the hands of his wife, which there doesn't seem to be. The daughter sounds like she wanted to say a big screw you to her stepmom. It isn't a good idea to flip off someone out of spite if their spouse is the one funding your wedding. She gambled and she lost. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. If she can't afford the wedding without Dad's money, then there's no wedding. OP, stick to your guns, and I wouldn't go back and agree to pay if she decides to invite your wife. She'll take your money and make it a nightmare for your wife. She's not going to choose to start playing nice suddenly. Let the mom's boyfriend pay. She thinks of him as family.